Welcome back everyone. So in the last episode of Ask Me Anything, we addressed some of the generic questions more focused around business areas. In this Ask Me Anything episode, we will try and address some of the more core and technical challenges and questions that our colleagues have for us.
Recently, there's been a lot of development and research regarding Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, in AI. How do you see that affecting the cybersecurity industry? Particularly, do you see any impact that might have on real-time decision-making, contextual threat analysis, or those areas?
Great question. One of the things that industry and I would say most of our practitioners kind of confuse is what is hallucination and what is accuracy. Let me take you back with a very simple example. What if I told you that this is an accurate statement that my name is Jay? Now, if I had to create an application on top of this, I would create an application to extract my name and then display it on a simple device or a screen. If the application is able to extract my name as is and show, that's accuracy. However, the typical problem and what our colleagues have been addressing or asking is hallucination. What if the model goes ahead and creates a new name of mine and says, I am Don Joe? This is hallucination, and this comes from world knowledge. And this is exactly what we need to avoid to make sure that Gen AI models are more accurate on your data.
I've been having a lot of conversations lately about Gen AI, how it's transforming industries, boosting efficiency, and even reshaping decision making. But one question keeps coming up: what is the real ROI? Beyond the buzz, what tangible business value can organizations expect from deploying Gen AI?
Great question. And I would answer that with the real world use case that NuSummit was able to achieve for a customer. So imagine that you are a team of developers developing these sophisticated web applications for your end customers. What did it take for you to develop that web application? So if I just take hypothetical numbers of about 10 people working 5 days a week over 3 days, I would spend about 150 hours, let's say, for an example. What if I introduced a smarter AI assistant that could help you develop this application? And that's where AIsemble came into the picture. With AIsemble, I could reduce this entire piece of work to just about 3.5 hours, including testing. This means that now your developers have an extra about 146.5 hours to do more, to create something novel. And this is exactly our promise of AI. It should be looked at that human intelligence to the power AI rather than not including human in the loop. This is the idea or the concept that we would like to flourish.
As Gen AI becomes more integrated into critical business processes, organizations must balance innovation with trust and security. So what measures can we take to ensure the reliability and robustness of Gen AI models?
So I would rather address this question in two parts. So for any reliability of any given model, I need to be very sure of the source of the information I have used to train my models. And this is the most trickiest part with any model that you use from the world, bring it to your organization and try to use it as is. That's where most of the problem starts. I would rather say that if we take a foundational model and train it on your data, on your guardrails and constraints, that is the best way to increase the reliability of your models. You have various scores and models and benchmarks to also address what you would call your benchmarking of the models as well. For example, RAGAS is an amazing library to research and use for any application where you're developing a RAG-based application. BLEU Scores or performance effective tuning are some of the methods that you could increase the reliability and accuracy of your Gen AI models. So these are some of the techniques. Go Google them, research them, or rather, like most of you are already doing, ChatGPT it.
As we know, generative AI is shaping decision-making processes for organizations around the world. I think what sticks out to me in particular is one thing, and that's bias. Since AI models learn from data, any biases in those data sets can be unintentionally reinforced down the line. I guess what I'm looking for here is, what are some of the key biases that you're seeing in generative AI algorithms, and how can we address them to ensure fairness and accuracy throughout the entire process?
Great question, and a continuation to the previous question that was asked. So in terms of the biases themselves, like I said, data that you would use for training and testing are the key parts of your biases. The best way to get rid of these biases is to know the source that you would be using for this data. And to know the source, you must know how reliable that data itself is. Hence, most of the organizations rely to use trusted data sources, or the data that they have complete control upon, to train their models. And like previously said and stated, there are many benchmarks and frameworks that can help you assess and ensure the reliability of your models and the biasness that exists in this data. And biases could be anything. It could be even gender bias, it could even be country bias, it could even be cultural bias. There could be many biases, and hence that problem to ensure that you know the source data and you have complete control makes your model more error-free. This has been an amazing Ask Me Anything session, and thank you for all thought-provoking questions, including efficiency, data bias, and in general bias that is a huge problem with any practitioner understanding and using AI. This area of research continues to be explored and continues to challenge we human researchers to ensure that the AI models that you're using are producing the right results for the right reasons. We will continue to ensure that you get the best dose of AI, Gen AI, and bust these myths and debunk these so-called statements that Gen AI is not this, not that. The whole idea of these sessions and these Ask Me Anything episodes are all about ensuring that you get the right answers from grounds up by doing it, not by reading books alone. Thank you for being such passionate learners, and continue to learning. Love coding.